Hey, Allie, Mallow, Susie. Who's crying already? That's not nice. We haven't even started. Hey, Deb. This is always the awkward part when we just sit here like idiots until we wait till everyone gets on. So I'm doing my part, just sitting here. Just give me a few minutes. Give me a chance to go over notes because I'm cheating. I can't do this all by my what's in my brain. I got dressed up for this tonight. Actually, I got this sweater at St. Vinny's last year. It's really comfortable and what are you gonna do? I like it. I shop at St. Vinny's. Sometimes when I'm feeling fancy, I'll go to Farm and Fleet, but it's just clothes, right? Nobody cares. So we have like, I don't know, 8 people on? Is that what? 10? No, maybe more. Never mind. All right, I'm gonna get started so people can watch the replay if they wanna see what's going on. Um, so why are we here? As you know, I am creating a nonprofit, and I'm doing this tonight because I need your help. And I hope you bear with me because I need to make my way through this. And as you know, it's just difficult to tell you everything without giving you some history. So it's going to take a little bit. But what I want you to know is that this nonprofit is not because of me. This nonprofit that I've been dreaming about for the last 6 months or so, it's because of you. It's because of this fight that we are in for bodily autonomy. Um, it's because of the thousands of messages that I've received over the last year when I started speaking out. You know, during this time, especially the last 6 months, I'd say 8 months, where people come to me and they tell me their stories, and I don't know why. I don't know why they're telling me because I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. I'm just a dude who says shit. And you know, the thing is, I feel them. I feel their pain. I feel sometimes the hopelessness, and it hurts. And I want to change that. I want to start this nonprofit to help all of you with vaccine injured kids, all of you who have been injured yourselves, who may not have anywhere to go for that assistance. That's my goal here. And I think it's going to be big. This isn't going to be a Midwest or a Wisconsin type of charity. This has this has a bigger meaning, I think. I believe. Um, anyway, let me tell you a little bit about myself because I'm hoping you'll share this video and people can get to know me a little bit and know who they're potentially donating to. And so I'll just start at the beginning. Um, you know, we all have a health journey. Mine did not begin with vaccine injured kids. Mine began, I don't know, 2010, 2011, something like that, when I was about 60 pounds overweight. I was just feeling miserable about myself. You know, not eating healthy, drinking too many beers, that type of thing. And I was tired of living that life. I was tired of coming up with excuses why I can't fit between the chair and the wall anymore, why the scale doesn't seem to work right anymore. So I started, you know, doing some reading. Dr. Mercola's website, I would read that religiously, and I still do read it. But that website helped me so much to learn about health, things that I never learned when I would go visit my doctor, who said, "No, you're kind of overweight." So that took me down the road. road of eventually down to this vaccine battle that we're in. And my kids are unvaccinated. My daughter was born in 2008, and I read evidence of harm before she was born, and at the suggestion of my chiropractor. So I was fortunate. Like so many things in my life, I was fortunate. Sorry. My son was born 18 months later, also unvaccinated. So that wasn't what propelled me down this. But I started speaking out about a year ago after the flu shot propaganda started. And I had one post on Facebook just making fun of the flu shot, because of obviously all the side effects and all of that. And I got pretty beat up about that post, and I didn't know enough. I hadn't really studied at all. After reading evidence of harm, I'm like, pretty clear to me the corruption and the deceit and everything else that's taking place here. I'm not doing that. And that was pretty much it for me. It was just a personal choice. Nobody cared. Nobody cared in 2010 if your kids were vaccinated or not. You told the schools, no, I didn't vaccinate. They said, all right, no big deal. So, what's happening in the last year, though, is completely different. And, after I posted that, I decided I needed to educate myself. And I started doing a lot of reading, started watching more documentaries, started meeting some people online, super smart people who've really helped me. Started following Dell and Bobby Kennedy and all these amazing people out there. So the thing is, one thing I didn't see that it may exist out there, and forgive me if I don't know about it, but I didn't see any organizations that were helping anybody that needed it, that had injured kids, that were injured themselves. I don't know of any organizations that are paying to help these people, that are raising funds to help these people, and that's what I want to do. So many organizations out there are battling the legal fronts, are state-run organizations, all doing great things. This is not to belittle anybody. All I'm saying is I have my vision that is different from theirs. So as more people started contacting me and more questions that I would have as to why are they contacting me, it started really resonating with me that why wouldn't they? Why not me? Am I capable of helping people? Of course. And I want to. So maybe people felt that in me. Maybe something called them to reach out to me. I don't know. All I know is I listened, and it ignited a fire in me that I can't stop. I've had longtime friends who actually know me in person, not just on Facebook. I've had, family members. People are like, "Are you okay? You seem to be going crazy. You're going a little bonkers over this." All I can say is I've never been better. I've never felt more driven in my life to do something with my life than I do now. And, it's been a really eye-opening experience, and I'm just starting. It seems like there's this energy, this pull that is just so strong that I can't stop, and I don't want to stop. So anyway, a little bit more about some history. One sec. I grew up in Alaska. When I was 6 years old, we moved out to the bush of Alaska. So we had a little log cabin, no running water, no electricity, and we were poor. We were on welfare, food stamps. At holidays, there weren't presents. The only reason we had presents was because somebody gave to us. Somebody gave to my parents to give to us. And, as kids, we didn't know what was going on, but looking back and seeing what seeing what my parents went through, it's difficult. Um, but even in that state of poverty, we gave. You know, we had to cut down trees for firewood. Our neighbors had to do the same, and sometimes our neighbors' chainsaw didn't work. Sometimes they were sick, but you can't let your neighbor go cold. You know, you have to go help them. So I remember I was 7 years old and I was chopping wood with an axe. I was making kindling for them. I was carrying wood. You know, we would do all this as neighbors, as just showing love and care for each other. And my mom, she had wooden shoes, like clogs, that they had a sole that kept falling off. So my dad put screws in them. And, you know, that was such a sacrifice that they had to go through. But, you know, my parents made sure that we had shoes. And that kind of love has stuck with me. Uh, so, you know, I lived in Alaska there for about 10 years, only like 3 years in the bush. So not the whole time did I, you know, have to endure the outhouse. But I have to tell you, we had a fancy outhouse because it had a styrofoam seat. So when you sat on it, it was warm real fast. So at 50 below, a styrofoam seat was very necessary. So a trick for all of you people out there. So we moved to Romania when I was 14. I mentioned this the other day. My parents saw a 2020 episode on the orphanages there right after Ceausescu was assassinated, and that was on in October of 1990. And my parents, after that episode, I remember it was a Friday night, and we had just gone grocery shopping, and they saw that, and they said, "We're moving to Romania." And I was a freshman in high school, and I was like, "What?" You know, I'm on a basketball team. I've got friends. I'm, you know, freshman in high school, and they go, you know, it's just going to be for a year. We're going to go work in this orphanage, and you know, we'll figure it out. You can give a year of your life to helping others. And you know what? I was like, this is okay. I'm willing to do this. So we left. You know, January of 1991. We're in essentially still a communist country because I mean, Ceausescu was dead for about a year, I guess, and everything was gray and cold and miserable. And you know, we took a train from Frankfurt, Germany, to Bucharest, and I remember changing trains in Vienna. And so we had this pristine train from Frankfurt to Vienna, and you know, it was one of those really fast ones, clean, nice drink cart in there and everything. Then we go across the tracks in Vienna to the Romanian train that looked like, you know, Jews were supposed to be packed in it to go to the Holocaust, to go to the concentration camps. It just looked awful. And then when we got in there, it was, you know, it was 1991, and people were still smoking, and it was awful. Um, so that was my first, you know, experience of Romania. And as we started, you know, it was about a 20-hour trip from Vienna to Bucharest on that thing. And yeah, it was eye-opening. You know, at 14 years old, you're trying to sleep in the middle of the night, and all of a sudden these guards barge in the door and say, "Passport, passport." They're yelling at you, and you can't see out the window because everything's dark. There's these dim lights at these trains, at the train stations, and just a culture shock extreme. But we eventually got to Romania. We went up to our village in the northeast part of the country where there was about 2,000 people. And we started working in this orphanage. That was, you know, also an interesting experience. We had to bribe the orphanage director to let us work there for free every month. He needed a carton of cigarettes, Camels, and he needed a bottle of Jim Beam. So we would have to go down to Bucharest to get the Jim Beam, which was a 6-hour train ride down to Bucharest, and then we'd go to the U.S. Embassy to buy that, and then come back to give that to the director to say thank you for your generosity to allow us to work with these kids for free. So that was the norm over there. But you know, we did that for a while. You know, like I said, we were supposed to be there a year working in the orphanage, but it had so much help from the West, from Germany, you know, doctors and dentists, from England, from France, just all these medical professional people, and we were more in the way at that point than helpful, I guess. But it all kind of happened organically too. As more help came in, uh, we were we were the only ones who actually lived in the village, though everybody else would come in for the day and then they would go to wherever they were staying. But we lived there, so Romanians, the village people, they would come by, and everybody had a gate, before you walk into your yard. So the custom there was you go to the gate and you start yelling somebody's name until they come out. So they would just start yelling at our gate. So we'd go out to see what their need was, and they were poor. These people needed help too. So our mission kind of changed from helping the orphanage, helping the kids there, to helping the others who were in need as well. Um, my mom is from Germany. I was born in Germany. My dad met her there. So she had a family there and connections to pharmacists, connections to other people who would donate clothing and whatnot. So we ended up getting a bunch of shipments in, uh, to help those people around us. And we had people from all over the country come to us asking for help for, if it's medicines, if it's shoes, uh, clothes, whatever. We would help in any way we could. And a lot of times they would come over with injuries. And because we were learning the language, we didn't speak Romanian at the time. I learned it while I was there, sort of. I learned village Romanian. It's kind of like hillbilly Romanian. But we communicated regardless. Anyway, we would start designating whatever injury this person had to who that person was. So how's the finger man doing? Because the finger man had a really bad cut on his finger, or gangrene guy, because gangrene guy had gangrene on his foot, and he died, unfortunately. There were whatever ailment people had, that was their name. So but we helped, we helped as good as we could, and we helped a lot of people. So because I was an Alaskan resident, I was doing homeschool for half of ninth grade and all of 10th grade. I was no longer a resident when I wanted to start my junior year. Uh, so I couldn't do anything. I didn't speak Romanian good enough to go to a Romanian school. Plus the culture was different, where the schooling wasn't set up the same as ours. And we didn't know what we were going to do. So when I was 16 years old, supposed to be a junior in school, I did nothing. I had Romanian friends. My best friend, who I still am in communication with today, his name was Valentin. Vali and I would travel the country, with his brothers, with friends. We would just hop on a train because it cost like $7 to go from where my village or my area to like Transylvania or to the Black Sea or to Bucharest or whatever. So we would just hop on a train and go for a couple of weeks. And I was a good kid, so my parents knew they could trust me. I wasn't going to get in trouble, and come back in one piece. So that was sort of my education when I was 16. That summer, before I turned 17, we had some American friends in a nearby city, and they had an American come visit them. They were Americans, and they had another American come visit them. So they brought him over to our house to meet us because we're the other Americans in the area. And so his name was Al. Al came over for 3 hours. He talked to me. What am I doing about school? What am I into? I was into the Bulls, Michael and Scotty, and that was my life. Playing basketball every day, just the Bulls. I wanted to be on a basketball team so bad, and so he came over. He left. Before he left, he said, "Well, let me see what what will happen. Let me talk to my wife. Maybe we'll host you or something. And I had heard that story about 20 times, and I didn't think anything of it when he left. And about 2 weeks later, I got a letter from him saying his wife and his 4 kids would love to have me come live with them in Wisconsin so I could finish high school, and they would host me. And it makes me emotional. Sorry. Al kind of saved my life, is what I felt. He gave me such an opportunity. He didn't owe me anything, but he gave. And I'm, I'm forever grateful. People have always given. They've my entire life, people have given, whenever that was, whatever the need was. Somehow there was giving involved. And I'm here tonight to ask you to give. Help me get this started. I view this nonprofit not as mine. It's my dream to help, but this is yours. This is all of us coming together to be able to help people. And I hope you'll give. The nonprofit, if we can switch gears to that. I guess I'm done telling my story. So, what this is, I've watched the board members that I've selected to help get us started. I've watched them for the last several months, and to see their generosity, to see their posts, their hearts, to know that they're always there to help others, to and that they're smarter than me. That's also been very important. But I know these people are good people, and I don't want snot dripping the whole time I do this. Sorry. So I trust these 3 ladies tremendously. And if you don't know them, I suggest you stop wasting your life and get to know them, because they're amazing people. So your board members, and I do say your board because it's your board. We have people who have been homeless. We have people who have seen humanity at its worst. We have people who have fearlessly spread the truth, who have persevered with loving and giving hearts. And I'm so proud to be alongside Courtney Lynn, Elise Mon, and Kadena Waldron as we embark upon this vital endeavor that so many people need. Elise will be our vice president, Courtney our treasurer, and Kadena our secretary. I'm the president, which, as awkward as that sounds, I'll take the title. The board may continue to grow as many other people commit to it. So I don't want to say that this will be the final board. But for now, this is a.ERIC. And a.ERIC is an acronym that stands for Adverse Events Recovery and Information Corporation. And our vision is to provide health recovery to individuals or families whose needs warrant assistance. And the mission is to provide health guidance and recovery to families and individuals who have succumbed to injury via pharmaceuticals. We strive to provide aid where needed in a naturally minded approach, healing from the roots. What does that mean? It means we'll help your children. We will help you. We will fund your treatments that you cannot afford. We will fly you out to see the specialists that you otherwise can't get to. We will assist you in finding resources of assistance to find the natural healing that you may not know where to go. A lot of us, when we first embark upon this, it's all foreign. We don't know where to go. Where's the help? We start Googling, and we know what's happening with Google with the censoring. So this is part of the mission of this organization, is to to be a resource center, to have products available, not that we sell personally, but products that we can link to where people can get assistance from those individuals. And, you know, so much of this feels hopeless, especially when you first get into it. And we want to just be that hope, because without hope, we have nothing. So help me. This week, I talked to an organization that will do all of our paperwork correctly and quickly. It takes, if I'm going to do the paperwork, it's going to probably be incorrect. I'm going to submit it. Something's going to be missing for the state of Wisconsin that needs it, or federally, whatever the case. But this organization can do it in about 2 to 3 weeks. And of course, there's a cost to that. So it costs about $2,600 for that, plus other filing fees and whatever else. So I'm asking for $3,000 if you guys would give. It would get this organization off the ground. We could accept donations from then on. Donations that come in beyond that, beyond the fees that we need to get started, they're going to help people immediately. We can start helping people by Christmas potentially. So I happened to see a video today, and a lady talked about, she had a quote from Henry David Thoreau, and I like the quote that she mentioned, so I looked him up, and I was just blown away that I saw this quote today. Like I said, everything that's been happening recently, it cannot be a coincidence. Too much has been going on. It cannot be a coincidence, unless you're a doctor who believes everything's a coincidence. But this correlation is causation, that something is going on, and I'm following it. Anyway, the quote I'd like to share with you tonight, again by Henry David Thoreau. If one advances confidently in the direction of his dreams and endeavors to live the life which he has imagined, he will meet with a success unexpected in common hours. I feel that this charity is going to be huge, and it's going to be fast as far as the support that is given to us because of you guys. And I just want to thank you in advance. And that basically concludes what I wanted to say. I will post a Patreon, my Patreon link, if you'd like to donate. And whatever you can give, it's going to help. So that's all I have. Thank you. I'm going to end this. Actually, I should probably take questions, I guess, because that's the norm. So let me see if I can figure this out here. Any questions? Kissa is yelling, even though she says she's not yelling. So, all right. I don't see any questions coming through, so it's probably best I'll just end this and then we can answer questions afterwards. So again, thank you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Please share it. Let's get this thing going, and I'm excited. It's going to be awesome. Bye.